Good evening, I'm Sal Pierre, and this is Sal's US and World News. In a speech delivered at the State Department on January 13, 2025, President Joe Biden reflected on his administration's foreign policy achievements, emphasizing the strengthening of international partnerships and the US's enhanced global standing. As the world faces multiple crises, including ongoing conflicts in Ukraine, the Middle East, and Sudan, President Biden stated that his administration has effectively positioned the U.S. for success in the global competition. Biden noted that when he took office in 2021, the United States was re-entering a challenging international landscape, especially after the Trump administration's withdrawals from key agreements. Under Biden, the U.S. rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement, restored strong relations with NATO, and rallied the world in support of Ukraine amid Russia's invasion. Biden claimed that NATO is now stronger than ever and that adversaries, like Russian President Vladimir Putin, have been weakened in the face of united international opposition. He also praised the U.S. for maintaining its stance in the face of Iranian influence, asserting that Tehran and its proxies, like Hezbollah, are in a weakened position, and that the Iranian economy is in desperate straits. One of the significant, ongoing challenges for Biden's administration, however, is the unresolved issue of American hostages held by Hamas following the attack on Israel in October 2023. Biden remains committed to securing their release, with National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan suggesting a potential resolution could be near. President Biden also acknowledged the painful losses during the chaotic U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, marking the deaths of 13 American service members in the process. Despite this, he reiterated his decision to end America's longest war, noting the immense cost of the conflict. Looking ahead, Biden emphasized the continuing global challenges that his successor will face, including the ongoing war in Ukraine, tensions in the Middle East, and rising threats from North Korea and Iran. However, he firmly stated that his administration is leaving the next president with a strong foundation to handle these issues. While some critics argue that the U.S. is in a worse geopolitical position today, given the ongoing conflicts in Europe and the Middle East, Biden remains confident that the United States is well positioned to lead on the world stage. In summary, President Biden views his foreign policy record as one that has positioned the U.S. as a global leader with stronger alliances and a more competitive standing against adversaries. As the world looks ahead, the question remains, how will the incoming administration navigate these complexities? Elsewhere, Biden is still trying to help the younger generation to get a brighter future. In the closing days of President Joe Biden's administration, the White House has announced significant relief for student loan borrowers. On January 13, 2025, the administration revealed plans to provide debt relief to 150,000 individuals, bringing the total number of borrowers who have benefited from loan forgiveness to over 5 million. This amounts to approximately $183.6 billion is student debt alleviated since Biden took office. The latest relief includes 85,000 borrowers whose schools defrauded them, 61,000 individuals with total and permanent disabilities, and 6,100 public service workers. President Biden highlighted that this is a part of his long-standing commitment to making higher education a pathway to the middle class, not a barrier. I'm proud to say we have forgiven more student loan debt than any other administration in history, Biden stated in a release. While many borrowers have already received their notifications, others will be hearing from the Education Department in the coming days. However, officials stopped short of confirming whether this will be the final wave of relief. Since President Biden's tenure began, his administration has faced legal hurdles in its attempts to provide broader student debt forgiveness. A proposal to cancel up to $20,000 of student debt for millions of Americans was blocked by the Supreme Court in 2023. Additionally, the Save Loan Repayment Plan remains tangled in legal challenges. As President-elect Donald Trump prepares to take office, his transition team is reportedly exploring options to reverse or scale back some of Biden's student debt relief initiatives. Notably, Trump's first administration saw substantial denials, borrower defense applications under former Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, including 130,000 requests from students who were defrauded by their schools. While many borrowers have already received their notifications, others will be hearing from the Education Department in the coming days. However, Officials stopped short of confirming whether this will be the final wave of relief. Since President Biden's tenure began, his administration has faced legal hurdles in its attempts to provide broader student debt forgiveness. A proposal to cancel up to $20,000 of student debt for millions of Americans was blocked by the Supreme Court in 2023. Additionally, the Save Loan Repayment Plan remains tangled in legal challenges. As President-elect Donald Trump prepares to take office, his transition team is reportedly exploring options to reverse or scale back some of Biden's student debt relief initiatives. Notably, Trump's first administration saw substantial denials, borrowed defense applications under former Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, including 130,000 requests from students who were defrauded by their schools. Meanwhile, lawmakers, including Sens. Dick Durbin and Ed Markey, have been pressing the Biden administration to accelerate debt relief for defrauded borrowers. More than 70 members of Congress, led by Reps. Maxine Waters and others, urged the Education Department to address the backlog of borrowed defense claims, which has grown significantly since the collapse of for-profit colleges, like Corinthian Colleges, in 2015. The Biden administration's push for student debt forgiveness comes as a pivotal moment in U.S. education policy, with the future of these relief programs uncertain under the incoming administration. That's the latest on student debt relief. Stay tuned as we continue to monitor the transition of power and the lasting impact of these policies.
Good evening, I'm Ahmed Khan, and this is Sal's US and World News. In a startling development, South Korea's National Intelligence Service reported that 2 North Korean soldiers captured by Ukrainian forces while fighting alongside Russian troops have not expressed a desire to defect or seek asylum in South Korea. The soldiers were captured in Ukraine's Kursk region, where they were part of North Korea's first involvement in large-scale combat since the Korean War. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has stated that he is open to returning the soldiers to North Korea if an exchange can be arranged with Ukrainian prisoners of war held by Russia. Zelensky confirmed that one of the soldiers wants to stay in Ukraine, while the other wishes to return to North Korea. This statement aligns with the footage released by the Ukrainian government of the soldiers' interviews. In a closed briefing with South Korean lawmakers, officials from the National Intelligence Service confirmed that they participated in questioning the North Korean soldiers and revealed that neither soldier expressed an interest in resettling in South Korea. They indicated that discussions could take place if the soldiers changed their minds about seeking asylum. Over 34,000 North Koreans have defected to South Korea over the years, escaping economic hardships and political repression at home. However, any move to grant asylum would require careful legal review and consultations with relevant countries, according to South Korea's Ministry of Unification. The ministry has remained cautious, stating that they cannot make any statements at this time. Meanwhile, South Korea's spy agency believes that around 300 North Korean soldiers have been killed in the conflict, with an additional 2,700 wounded. The agency attributes these high casualties to North Korea's lack of preparedness for modern warfare, including unfamiliar tactics, terrain, and technologies such as drones. North Korean troops have been under Russian command, and their integration into Russian-led operations has been plagued by communication issues and poor support during combat, leading to mounting losses. The soldiers' struggle to adapt to the battlefield environment has been compounded by orders for them to engage in reckless combat missions. The agency reports that some North Korean soldiers even received orders to commit suicide in case of capture, with one soldier attempting to detonate a grenade before being shot. As North Korea's involvement in the Ukraine conflict continues, there are growing concerns in Seoul that this could pose a long-term threat to South Korea. Experts worrying that North Korea's forces may gain crucial combat experience and that Russia could transfer advanced technology. Enhance North Korea's military capabilities, including its nuclear arsenal. As the situation unfolds, the international community remains vigilant in watching how these developments may impact the ongoing war in Ukraine and the broader geopolitical landscape. That's the latest on the situation in Ukraine. Stay with us for more updates. Meanwhile, good evening. I'm Ahmed Khan, and you're watching Sal's US and World News. In a bold display of defiance, North Korea has launched multiple short-range ballistic missiles off its east coast, just days ahead of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House. South Korea's military reported that the missiles were fired from Kangye, a region near the North Korean border with China, at around 9:30 a.m. local time on Tuesday. The missiles traveled approximately 250 kilometers, 155 miles, before splashing down in the Sea of Japan. The South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff swiftly condemned the launch, calling it a clear provocation that undermines peace and stability in the region. The South warned that any further provocations would be met with a strong response. Acting President Choi Sang-mok also condemned the launch as a violation of United Nations Security Council resolutions, reaffirming Seoul's commitment to taking stern action against North Korea's missile activities. The missile launch coincided with a visit to Seoul by Japanese Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwaya, who, along with South Korean officials, condemned North Korea's missile and nuclear development. Both countries have pledged to strengthen their security cooperation in light of the growing threat posed by North Korea's military advancements. The United States also joined in the condemnation, with U.S. Indo-Pacific Command urging Pyongyang to cease its unlawful actions and destabilizing missile tests. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who visited Seoul just last week, emphasized the importance of trilateral cooperation between the U.S., South Korea, and Japan to counter North Korea's provocations. This missile test comes just a week after North Korea fired what it claimed was a new intermediate-range hypersonic missile. It also follows recent reports suggesting that North Korea's missile activity is aimed at gaining attention ahead of Donald Trump's inauguration. According to South Korean lawmakers, Pyongyang is seeking to showcase its military capabilities to deter the U.S. and specifically draw Trump's attention after his term in office. As North Korea continues its missile tests, the situation remains tense on the Korean peninsula, with countries in the region on high alert. We will keep you updated as this story develops. I'm Ahmed Khan, and this is Sal's US and World News. Thank you for watching.
This is Sal Pierre. Thank you for watching. We promise to bring headlines and detailed reports mostly as they are happening. Please subscribe to the channel. Like and share our videos, you'll be glad you did. See you at the next video.